put my hand over my mouth because it's my fucking bar and I'll do what I want. Okay. Here we go. Welcome back to the Sidebar podcast, and welcome to what I've decided tonight, over the last hour or so, is this fucking hat. What I've decided over the last hour or so is actually going to be our last episode of, at least of season 1. I can't explain. And I will explain, and everything's going to be fine. I know there's going to be mass hysteria in the streets, but I'm going to explain. So, firstly though, as always, let's start with some beers. Now, yet again, for the second episode in a row, I'm going to open my latest Beer 52 box. This one's fresh opening. What's this? Merry Christmas from Beer 52. Oh, and I get a free crate of beer. That's nice. That's really nice. Let's put this up here. Shout out to Beer 52. Love them. What we got? Crunchy peas. And crunchy corn nibbles. Okay, well these can live in here for now. Let's have a look at some beers. One beer. We're not going to go through all these because just like I said that I would do with the last ones, which I didn't do with the last ones because with these ones, sort of a little bit what we're going to discuss today. Although I said that I would and I didn't, but I could. But that's probably what we're drinking today, because it's the biggest one and I need alcohol to get through this. Oh, that's a pretty can. I will explain all of these, by the way. We will talk about these. I just wanted you to get a good look at them. Fucking hell, there's more. Another Edmondson. Can't get... Go away. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a fuckload of beers in this. 10 beers, look at that. Jump Brewing Pale Ale. This one by Swift Haze Pale Ale. Amundsen Zombie Juice Hazy Session IPA. Is it though? Because their last session was not a session. The Garden Brewery Double IPA. This is the cool can, and it's the Stanley Legendary Pilsner. Actually, that can's so cool. I'm drinking that today. Paulaner Munchner Hell. I don't fucking know. Troubadour Hazy IPA. Nordley's Session IPA. Yeasty Boys Speed Date. That one's cool. The Yeasty Boys. And Attic Brew Co. Union Hazy IPA. I feel like you can't see that one, but that's fine. So, welcome to what is going to be the last episode of season 1 of the Sidebar podcast. I need a cup for the... I'm going to pour off with myself. So, a lot's been going on lately. Not least of all, the fact that I've got 3 kids. Look at that. And as if by fate, I didn't spill it. Smells fucking wonderful. Oh. This is, yeah, so Stanley Legendary Pilsner. 4%. So for the last time of 2024, cheers. And I'm not going to lie, that is a wonderful beer to finish off with. It's lovely. So, as I said, I have 3 children. I've got 3 boys. One of them obviously being a baby, as you guys know. On top of that, I'm a comedian now, apparently. Turns out that when you start getting paid for gigs, if you're not making a living off them, but you're still making some money off them, you class as a semi-professional comedian. Now, for those who have watched Sidebar podcast since the start, you'll probably remember the very episode that I had Martin on, that episode something. And I said to him, "Oh yeah, I'll come do 10 minutes." And he went, "All right." And now that very same Martin has helped in numerous ways me get a bit of a comedy career off the ground. I think I'm on 24 things now, so still a fucking newbie as far as they go. So yeah, I'm still fresh to the game. I've still got a lot to learn, including not changing my setup every fucking 5 shows because I get bored of the jokes. But yeah, me and Ali obviously started 4 Leaf Comedy. We're now about to launch as of February. In fact, we're going to be launching our 2nd monthly show. So yeah, we're gonna have 2 monthly shows in Norwich City Centre that myself and another comedian, Ali Bell, who I've mentioned before, that will be running as 4 Leaf Comedy. Obviously, we'll have our usual one at Pogue Mahone's, but we'll also be starting a brand new one at Dick's, which is a bar down the Norwich Lanes. So that's really exciting as well. Again, both super small venues, only sort of like 20 to 25 people in each, but yeah, really exciting. This last week I did 4 comedy shows pretty much back to back in Peterborough and Norwich and Dereham, and this week I've got another one, and the next week I've got another one, and then it's Christmas, and between all that I've also got I've got my first ever London gig, which is great. I'm going down to London next Monday. So yeah, so unfortunately, between me having all 3 kids, having this amateur comedy career, having a full-time job, yeah, unfortunately something has to let go, if it's only just for a few weeks. And unfortunately, it's got to be Sidebar. That breaks my heart because I love the Sidebar podcast. But if you follow us on Instagram as well, you'll notice that I'm just not posting as much as I did. And it's not through not having a love of Sidebar anymore. It's just through not having the time. And I'm getting home from work and I'm falling asleep in the chair. Getting home from gigs and I'm going straight up to bed. I'm not drinking any beers. Like, you'll see back there's still beers on that bar from when Josh was here 2 weeks ago, which was the last thing that I fucking filmed and the last thing that I posted on any social media. So yeah, so we're taking a little break, but we're not calling it a break. We're calling this the end of season 1 of the Sidebar podcast. And because it's the end of the season 1, I thought what would be a really good idea is to pull it up, if I can get any signal at all. I'm going to pull it up. I'm just going to talk through some of the episodes because we've had a lot of fun. We've done this is officially episode 30, but actually we started on episode 0, so this is our 31st episode. So yeah, episode 30, end of the Sidebar podcast season 1. But yeah, let's go back very quickly to the very, very start. If it loads. Wow, there's so much. So we're going to go back to the very, very start. And I'm basically just going to talk you through some of these episodes. Episode 1 was Welcome to the Sidebar. Or Welcome to Sidebar. Episode 0, that is. Episode 0. And I'm gonna put maybe some screenshots up here, but episode 0 was Welcome to the Sidebar. That was me and Ro. I didn't have a beard. That was over a year ago now. This had 160 views. So basically famous. And that episode was a fake episode. That's because I was meant to be putting an episode out that day with Josh Lutkin. Josh was meant to be coming around. We were meant to be doing that episode, but then he couldn't make it. So I was like, "Fuck, Rowan!" I told everybody that I was gonna do a Sidebar episode, and I don't want us to miss our first ever episode. So can you film one? And she was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't want to be in the camera." And I was like, "Please, I need you to help." And she was like, "Yeah, no problem." And then she filmed episode 1, which ended up being a game that I wanted to play with her because, again, Josh wasn't free, which is fine, I guess. And so yeah, we played Rob or Rowan, which was just a little bit to get us. And then we had our first ever Halloween episode as episode 2, which Josh was on, and he borrowed one of my shirts, and he borrowed Christian, our friend Christian's sort of cowboy hat, and I was dressed as Spider-Man. That was great. Then episode 3 was Rowan Gets the Ick, and we're drinking Framboozey, which is one of my favourite Tiny Rebels drinks. And then it was episode 4, 1 year ago. Episode 4, we had Martin on, and it was on that episode, November, I guess. Does it actually tell me on here if I click on it? November the 29th, that I had the wonderful Martin Westgate from Humour Comedy on the show. And I said to him, "Yeah, I'll come do some time." And he did, and I bailed on the first time because I couldn't make it, and he still gave me another shot. So I sort of owe where my life is heading, down this comedy route, and sort of with these new sunrises on the horizon. I sort of owe to Martin, as I called him on here, Norwich's most adequate comedian. But yeah. Then we had first episode with James, which was great, if not slightly chaotic. And if I can sort of looking at the thumbnail here, was the first episode that me and James just got smashed and drunk a fuckload of vodka. Then we had a Christmas episode with our friends Dan and Grace. Then Ro was back for episode 7. And then we had the fucking wonderful Gabby Rivers on. Like, we've had some fucking great people on here. We've had Josh and James and Ro and Dan and Grace and Martin Westgate and Gabby Rivers. We had our friend Charlie on, where he told one of the jokes. Charlie told a joke. It was episode 9, 10 months ago, and he told a joke that made me cry on camera because it was so funny. And it was when we were talking about, it was a would you rather between, like, I can't remember, like Daphne or Velma from Scooby-Doo, and you see his face go, and you see him go, "Oh my god, I got a joke," and then he really made me laugh by saying 2 in the jinky, 1 in the stinky, and I honestly lost it on camera, which was great. Then we had a F1 episode, and then we had an episode of Shark Tank Real or Fake, which if you've only recently been watching, you would have seen that pop up again because it's the only returning game that we've ever done. James came back, and then episode 13 was us releasing our brand new branding, which is the branding that you know now with the orange and me as a cartoon character. So yeah, that was a brand new one. Then we did National Malbec Day, which was basically Rowan was already pregnant by this point, so it was just her drinking this fucking non-alcoholic wine that tasted like fucking vinegar, and then it was me drinking an entire bottle of Malbec and just getting smashed. We had James back on for the hot sauce episode where he cried. And then we had Andrew on for mental health awareness week. We had Ro back on, and then we did Who's That Pokemon, and then we had Dan back on for Sporting Fails, which was our first ever reaction video. Then we had our Taylor's version where we talked all things Taylor Swift because we were on our way to a massive spider has just dropped down here onto the floor down there. I just saw it go in front of the light, so that's genuinely horrific. And then I was on paternity leave, so we had a couple of episodes with Josh and Andrew. They did 2 episodes, and then welcome back to the first episode in the bar. And then since then, hopefully you'll all be caught up. We had Sidebar News, and we had Grated to talk about marketing, and then we had Real or Fake Part 2. Then we had the episode that I did, which was just me watching the film Smile and almost crying and saying, oh my God, over and over again. Then we had questions for James, where I asked him loads of questions, and then the Would You Rather with Josh. And that's it. That's episode 29. So that brings us to now. Now being episode 30. And the end of season 1 of the Sidebar podcast. If you watched the first episode, you will know that we have evolved slightly. I spent money on fucking cameras which are worse quality than they were when we were just using a webcam, but yeah, so we're still learning. We've changed editing software like 3 times. But all these are all things that we get to try and learn because we're trying to put out content for you guys. It's sort of for you guys, but more than that, it's for us. It's for me, for Rowan, for Josh and James and Andrew and Dan and Grace and Charlie and Gabby and Martin and I hope I haven't missed anyone. I'm pretty sure that's everybody that we've had on. But no, I'm gonna have to go back and look. And Charlie and Gabby and Martin, yeah. So it's for Sidebar is for us. Sidebar was created because I decided that the conversations I was having in a pub, someone else must enjoy listening to as much as I do, and it turns out that some of you guys do enjoy listening to them. So that's cool, man. I appreciate all the love, all the support that we've had through season 1. As promised, at some point next year, we will be going to an episode a week. We're also going to be switching up with Sidebar Games next year as well. So that's going to be a second channel, which is going to be a mixture of gaming and also like board games and stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be a weird one. We're not gonna put a time frame on any of this at the moment. Just with everything else going on, we just don't really have time to. So, yeah, I don't want to promise you guys that it'll come at a certain date and it doesn't. So, what I'd like to do is I would like to take some time off around the time Assassin's Creed Shadows is released, and then I really want to do like just a 6-hour stream on Sidebar Gaming to sort of welcome that in. And we'll do that on both YouTube and Switch. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen in time. I can hope, but I'm busy. I still love Sidebar, and it is still a passion project. I appreciate that things have been a little quieter than I would have liked on the socials. But that happens, man. That's life. That's life. And until I'm making enough money from either content creation or comedy to not have a full-time job, that's gonna continue to be life for a little while. So we will still be putting out content. We will still be sharing some of these beers with you guys on social media. I'm going to make a real effort to get back onto Instagram and stuff. But yeah, so the Instagram, Facebook, maybe the TikTok, we might put some more content out. Yeah, we're gonna try. But as for these videos, actual episodes, they won't go out just yet. So this is this is episode 30. This is the end of the Sidebar podcast season 1. So yeah, I guess for the last time for a while, I think we'll be back in January with more content. We'll be back with more episodes, but we're taking a few weeks off over Christmas. So yeah, thanks very much for watching the Sidebar podcast. We will see you guys next year. Yeah, stay excellent. What a fun year, man. What a fun year.